Hello makers, welcome to Always Yarn First, a podcast about knitting, crochet, spinning, and all the yarny goodness in between. I'm Lindsey and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. And as always, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome, this is episode 31. And before we get into it, just a little admin. The Finish It in February make-along is officially over. That was a make-along to finish things, post them on Ravelry. I pulled 2 winners and they have both already gotten a hold of me and their prizes are about to go out the door. So thank you for those who participated. There should be a new make-along coming very soon. I'm just trying to figure out the details in my head before I post about it. But I still do have my year-long make-along with my friend Lori, which is the Nothing But Double. It is a make-along holding yarn double, making blankets. Throws, baby blankets, full-size blankets, anything you'd like. You can use the hashtag on Instagram, or you can go to Arkansas Yarn Co. Ravelry group and post your finished objects there. So, let's see. If you are new here, I name every episode after a song because before my obsession with yarn was my obsession with music, and I love most genres of music. So I usually try to pick a topic or a song title or lyrics that kind of go along with my mood that week. And so this week's song is The Original High by Adam Lambert, and I will link the Spotify link to that song below if you have not heard that song before. Check it out. Also, what I am wearing a knit item today. I am wearing the Wool and Berries by Locatelli. You can't really see it. It's short sleeve. I have stripes on it. It's super comfortable, knit in DK. If you'd like any information on the colors or anything about this sweater, I have the link below to my Ravelry, and you can check out all that on my project page. So how is everybody? It is the beginning of March. We are the 3rd month into the year already, which is crazy to me. And it definitely have had some crazy weather here in Arkansas. I think everywhere has had crazy or unusual weather for where they're located. But we had crazy storms last night, this morning, but the sun is finally peeking out right now, so I am very excited about that. So I have, this episode also, I want to make sure that you know that I do put the things in chapters below where I have the timestamps. If you want to skip around, that you can do that below. My animals are being a little extra just because the storm the last day, they're still a little antsy and a little crazy about that. So you may be hearing animals in the background. So today I do not have any finished objects. I do not have anything new that I've cast on, unbelievably. But let's get into my whips. So I'm going to show you the 2 that have gotten the most love. So if you watched the last podcast, I was getting ready to go out of state to visit my grandma. And that's about a 10+ hour drive each way. So my husband graciously did almost all the driving. I think I drove about 2 hours on the way home. But he drove all the rest of the time. When I went to Iowa, I only took 3 projects with me. And my 2 sweater projects got the most love because they were my car knitting. So this is in my NicNacKnits bag. And this is the Lamana luxury cardigan. Let's see if I can put it right here without it falling. Maybe, maybe not. All right. So this is the one that Lori and I are making identical cardigans. Oh, there's my Portuguese knitting pin. I was using that in the car while I was working on this. Let's see, where is my marker? There it is. So before I left, you can see where I was. I actually made quite a bit progress here, I feel, considering how many stitches are on this. So this is a free pattern. It'll be linked below. Once I attach this, you do, in the middle attachment, you do a little bit for 8 rows, but now I'm just straight in stockinette except for the edging stitches. So it's easy, but it can also be a little boring. But this was great in the car because I felt like I was actually making progress, and the texture on this is just amazing. So I'm using Arkansas Yarn Co. The Suri Silk Cloud base and held with the Yummy Sparkle base in the colorway Graphite. So still a lot to go on this, but I feel good about my progress. Unfortunately, since I've gotten home, I have not touched this at all. My other sweater has become my current favorite whip. But this will get done because I want this cardigan very badly. And the squish factor is real on this thing. So, what's the other sweater I've been working on? Is the Cloud 9. So this one was on my whip Make 9 board that I made of things that were still on my needles from last year and that I wanted to focus on getting done. I have finished 4 out of 9 of those whips. I've been taking them out one at a time, focusing on one, and then making myself, mohair, Suri, my nose is itchy. I've been focusing on one at a time, and then I work on them 30 minutes a day, at least. So this one has, I don't even think I can count it as my 30-minute a day project because I just want to work on this thing all the time. And I've made a lot of progress with this one. So this is in my Mrs. Brown's bags. This is from many, many, many years ago. All right, so let me see if I can untangle where I'm at here. So this one you cast on the back. Last time I showed this, this was not even in the round. This literally was just back panel. Trying to make sure I don't lose my stitches here. So, do you even see that? All the way down there at the bottom. I had maybe like 2 inches just on the back panel. That is all I was at. So I finished the back panel knitting, and then you pick up the left front, the right front, do those, and eventually you get around. So I have gotten a lot of progress on this. So all of this beautifulness. And then here is the front patterning. I love it so much. So this is held double with mohair. This is again Arkansas Yarn Co. And again, sparkle base held with mohair. And Lori did a special dye for me. The picture the designer used was in a really soft pink. But at the time I found this, I feel like it was 2 years ago when I had messaged her. This was the first thing, if I remember right, that Lori ever special dyed for me. This is the first thing she did. And I said, I love the softness and the feminine color in the pattern. I said, but I have a lot of soft pink sweaters already. So I needed another soft color similar to this feel. And this is what she came up with. And I love it so much. It is gorgeous. And she ended up naming it Lindsey's Waterlilies. And I don't think at the time I'd even told her that lilies are my favorite flower. So And if you can see too, what I think is so fun about this yarn, this very soft blue, but at the top, you can see these like orange specks just here and there so randomly. It's like where the color breaks, and I love it. I love it. It kind of reminds me of like little goldfish in the sea or something. Just adorable. So yeah. So these two sweaters, pretty much the Lamana I worked on the whole way up to Iowa. And then this one, while I was in Iowa, this one seemed to grab my attention for some reason. I don't know why. And then I loved it so much that I knit it the whole way home, and I haven't been able to stop. So I love this so much. This, where you cast on here, when you connect them, you have the choice to do like the seamed edge, which is what she shows in her pictures, or you can do seamless, where this is hidden. Just depends on how you pick up the stitches, and I wanted the seamed. I love that feature. So yes, I can't wait to wear this. So you can imagine the two projects I knit on my trip were a Suri and a mohair. So yeah, there was like the fuzz was strong in the car. I'm gonna drop my yarn. So when I got back, I'm like, there's just fuzz flying, and the front dash where I was sitting is just full of fuzz because of the two projects I was working on. But those are the two main projects that have had my attention. So there's one more project I took with me to Iowa, and I'm going to have to devote this week's time to, because Kristen's baby shower is in a week. And I'm not done with this. So this is in my Jessalyn Janice bag. And this is the Muti, M-U-T-I dress. And it's by Pineapple Yarn. It's more accurate. And here's where I'm at. So again, I made decent progress. I had just started this, I think, when I had shown it, because there's my stitch marker. So I am in the skirt part now, where I'm just doing a 2-row repeat to get this part, if I can hold it right, this part done. And then there's like a 24-row lace pattern once I get to a certain measurement here, and then that's it. So, and then this is actually supposed to be the back. I've been showing it like it's the front because it kind of looks like that, but you could do that. But it's actually supposed to be the back, and there's 2 holes for buttons. So I might need assistance with sewing buttons on because I'm not really great with that. But yeah, so this is going well. This is very much TV knitting right now because, like I said, it's 2-row repeat, and neither one of them are anything to think about. So that is what I've been trying to work on the last few days and get that done. All right, so some other things that I made a little bit of progress since the last podcast, but not a ton. My other baby present for Kristen, which she already knows is not getting done for the shower, but it's going to get done when it gets done, is the Envol blanket. This is housed in my woolly bean bag. One of my woolly bean bags from, again, many years ago. I have many of her bags. She is an Arkansas bag maker. And here's where I'm at. So you can see not very much further where I was. I'm trying to spread this out so you can see the patterning. Yeah. I love this. It's just a pretty pattern. This is using Lion Brand Hue and Me in the color Haze. So this one, I'm going to keep showing it, but right now I'm just at a pattern repeat, so you're just going to see the same thing, just longer. So yeah, not much to see right now with that one. All right. Oh, the other one in my giant By the Bay bag with lots of room in there currently is my monthly blanket I'm doing for the Nothing But Double make along. And I think last time I actually showed these done, but then it doesn't look like it, but I blocked and then I connected the two. So this one is the January Sock Yarn Society box colorway. This one was the February Club colorway, and I just got the March one, so I'll be probably starting on that this week. This crochet pattern doesn't take long. And then the blue that I'm using around the edges is Arkansas Yarn Sparkle in Silent Service is the colorway I'm using. So yeah. So that's how it's going to look together. And then when I'm finished with connecting all of them, there'll be a thicker border around the whole thing. So like I said, I did block these because I wanted to make sure they were stretched out to the same before I connected them. But now, they just get kind of wrinkled in the bag. So I will just do that again when I'm connecting the March one. And when I'm done and I put the whole border on, I'll just probably give it a steam to have it lay flat and it'll look nice. But it was looking perfectly matched up when I connected them together. So I'm happy with that. And the last thing I barely touched is kind of like my purse project. I did not take it to Iowa. I got a tiny bit done. This is I'm making a vanilla sock tube. This is in Tiny Human Knits. The colorway is Confetti. She does 50-gram balls, or that's the ones I usually buy. So I have my little scale in here. So when I get to a certain point, I will know to go ahead and do toes and then do the other sock tube. So this is in a brand new bag, which I will talk more in acquisitions that I got while I was on my trip that I love. It's by Trappings and Trinkets. All right, so that is it for my whip. Sorry if I feel like I flew through that quick, but like I said, there was just a couple projects taking my attention, and well, hopefully, I need to be done with that baby dress by next time. I will have already gifted it by the next podcast, so I will have a picture of that. But then I'll just be working on these two sweaters, and it'll just, be the same thing, just more of it. I'm hoping that Cloud 9 is actually a t-shirt sweater, and the way the construction is on the top, it's kind of like this sweater, where when you knit the body, you're knitting the sleeve too. So I think I read the sleeves, when I'm done with the body, I pick up and I knit 5 rows for the sleeves. That's it. So just the collar and the sleeves. So it's going to go really fast because I still can't put it down. All right, so next is spinning. So the one other thing I did take to Iowa with me is my e-spinner. It is small and compact, and I find that, especially when I go to Iowa, but even when I went to Texas a month ago, I took my e-spinner, and my goal was I would take 4 ounces of something, because that's a lot of the quantity you get when you get a braid or something, is 4 ounces, and I would spin a little bit every single night. And last month when I went to Texas, I finished a whole 4 ounces. So I had a bobbin full that I got to take home. And then when I went to Iowa, I took 4 ounces and I finished it on the last night. So that was my goal. So I have this. This is a partial braid of what's left. This is from Gritty Knits, and this colorway is called Gasoline. It has like a bamboo silk in there. It is lovely and so soft. So I had gotten a while ago 2 braids of this, so I could make it last a little bit longer. So I took 1 full braid with me to Iowa, and I finished that whole braid. So I got 2 bobbins worth. Well, part of this is from when I've done a little bit more, but this is it. And so I have decided to come home and work on this some more so I can get all all of this color done. I just have an e-spinner and I have 6 bobbins. So what that means for me is I'm trying to stick on a project, get all the bobbins, do all the plying, so then I can go on to the next project. I don't have many different wheels and many different bobbins. I'm hoping to get another e-spinner, which also from the same company, which is Daedalus. I have what's called a Sparrow, which is a good size, but it's not the biggest. And I've realized now I would like a Magpie, which is their bigger one. One, you could do art yarns if you want, because the Orpheus is bigger. Orifice, sorry. Anyway, but it's bigger, or you can fit more to a bobbin. And what that'll mean too is when you ply it together, more can fit on that bobbin and the bigger your skein is, which means the less times you have to weave in ends. If you have, one skein instead of 2 skeins. So that is my goal, to get a second one. I do still have Jessa's wheel that she has loaned out to me, and I'm working on this fiber here, which is another Gritty Knits. This is the Rainbow Bat. So this one I'm doing just on the actual wheel for that. But my e-spinner is going to be for this, so that is my current project. But as you're about to see in acquisitions, I got a lot of new fiber, so I'm really wanting to get this done because there's so much new fiber I want to play with. So let's get into acquisitions. So there was so many acquisitions, and larger acquisitions in the sense that I have things of fiber, which I couldn't even fit all on my desk. So yesterday I went ahead and made the acquisitions video separate, just so I didn't have to try to figure out where to put everything. So I will insert that video now. Hey everyone, I thought I would make a separate video for acquisitions because they are taking so much space up I can't even fit them all on my desk in front of me currently. So we're going to go ahead and make this now, and then you're going to see it just slid right into the podcast. So if you've been here a while, you watched my last podcast. I said I was going to Iowa, which was where I'm from. And if you've seen my previous video, I have a video called Irish Meadows Alpaca Farm. It is the cutest place. If you haven't watched that video, please go take a watch. It is right outside my hometown, and it is amazing. So every time I go, I have to go there. And the last time I went, I had got alpaca fiber to spin. I was just a new spinner, and this is what I made from it. And it is so soft and squishy and amazing. And this is all I got from it, one good size skein. I knew this time I didn't really want to buy any yarn. I just wanted more fiber. So my first acquisition is from Iowa, and I went in and found 2 more of these guys. This is exactly what I got last time. Try not to make a mess of it. It has that sparkle in there. It is so soft. And not only that, last time they had barely any fiber. This was the only one I saw. This time she had all kinds of fiber. And I did good because I really wanted to get that brown to get more skeins for a project for that. But she had all kind of just neutral fiber from her alpacas, and they have the names. They had the names of the alpacas it came from on there, which I thought was super cute. So just like I've mentioned before with my yarn, when I first started finding indie dyed yarn, I of course love variegated, speckled, crazy colors, and it was great when I was doing socks a lot. But then when you're trying to do, projects with multiple skeins like a sweater, a top, something else, you realize, oh, those variegated don't always work. Well, so I'm trying not to make the same mistake building my fiber stash where I'm getting all these crazy, gorgeous bats and things, but then I have nothing neutral. So, or, you know, also like I saw, if you saw my blue yarn I made last time, if I do get a crazy color, I can add a neutral to it, tone it down a little bit, and make it last a little bit longer. So I got this gray. I'm not going to take it out of the bag, but gorgeous. And this is from Emma, the alpaca. So I'm really excited about that. So that is my first acquisition, and that was in Iowa at the alpaca farm. On the way home from Iowa, we stopped in Peoria, Illinois, where my brother-in-law lives. And there's a yarn store there that I've always wanted to visit when we've gone through, but they're closed on Sunday and Mondays. And for some reason, it's always a Monday that we're in there. So I've never gotten to go. So this time it was a Thursday, and I actually got to go to the Fiber Universe, and I met Erin, and I picked up a couple of things. Let's see. I saw this. I am a sucker for tweed. This is Plymouth Yarn Homestead Tweed. Does it say Erin Base? I think so. But super soft, squishy. She had all kinds of colors, but I was feeling this charcoal. My dogs are begging for food, and so you hear them tippy tapping all over.
I'm sorry. You goblin.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, as far as yarn goes, I just got 2 of these. These are, let me see, 90% wool, 10% Donegal tweed, 100 grams, 194 yards. So I thought, if nothing else, I could make a cowl or something with them. But then I saw these bags. As you would have already seen, I already have a project in it. But this bag is super cute. It is a perfect sock size. I love this. It's super well made. And it is from a local bag maker. It's called Trappings and Trinkets. And she had a ton of bags there at the shop, which she does have a website I will link below. But also, I've been told this maker has an Etsy store. So you can find her on there too. But I bought this and I love it. And there was bags of different sizes, but this was, I knew I had to have this as soon as I spied it. So yeah, so that's what I got while I was gone. Then I came home and we had held the mail and got it delivered the day we got back. And I got some stuff. So first of all, I got my monthly club. Came in from Gritty Knits. This is my Fiber Bat of the Month club. So this is February colorway. Purples, pinks. And now that's my other dog, chewing a bone. And she always does an extra. And the extra was a good chunk of fiber here too. It can be added in or used for something else. So yes, that was the first thing. All right, my animals are all evidently just going crazy right now. Okay, so that was the first thing I got. The other thing I got is some more fiber Rolags from the Woolly Witch. And as I've mentioned before, she is on Etsy. I love her Rolags. The only thing I don't love is it takes forever to get. Usually you order them and 3 to 4 sometimes weeks later, before you get an email notification, hey, your order's shipped. It hasn't shipped. She has printed a mailing label, and then it sits there for another week. So you have to, if you order from her, you have to be extremely patient. You have to not be in a hurry. Don't be like, I have nothing to spend. I'm going to order something from her. Nope, don't do it. Order something, and then it'll be a surprise, over a month later when you get it. But saying that, it's worth the wait now that I know that, at least going into it. So I had ordered quite a while ago. Again, going with the semi-tonals to mix in with different things. I got these. So this one is called Sapphire Skies. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. And the other ones I have gotten before, and I have spun before when I was first starting out, so they're pretty chunky. But this one is called Princess Bubblegum. And this is, again, electric. Sparkly pink. Yeah, it's really that pink. So I ordered 5 ounces of each of them. So lots of fiber I got right when I came home. And like a day later, I got the last of my fiber order, again on my kick of semi-tonal tonals to add to other things like my, you know, Yarn Club of the Month stuff. Hello Yarn is another company. This is my first time ordering from them, but they also have a fiber monthly club. And on top of that, they have what's called a coordinate. So you order the fiber, the mystery club color, but then they also allow you, if you want, to add on a coordinate color, which is, I think, always semi-tonal at least, that will go with your monthly club. I don't get their monthly club, but I saw this color and I love blues and pinks, as we see, so I thought this will go with something that I have going on. So I got 2 packages of this, so 4 ounces each. Let me, kind of, again, hard to see in this bag. So this was the December Fiber Club coordinate. It's kind of like a robin's egg with grays in there. Real good. It is a rambouillet wool top. So I have lots of fiber to spin. Yeah, so I definitely, my fiber stash is growing. So much, in fact, that I had to resort all my yarn stuff and move things around to find more room for fiber. Okay, when I was in Iowa, I ordered something. I follow Yarn Cafe Creations, and she was having a sale on like mystery mini skeins, where it was a 10-pack of mini skeins. No control what color you get, just mix and match of things that from past like special colorways, all that kind of stuff that no longer you can get. So I got that. And this is kind of, so some of these colors go together. They look like some Halloween kind of colors, orange and purple and stuff like that. But so I'm probably, you know, there's definitely nothing I'm going to be using all of these together with. So I actually made a little basket of still wound up minis. And so I think I'm going to open this package and just dump them in there and then use whenever I want to use one. But anyways, this deal was $30 for 10 mini skeins. And usually, most of the time, when you buy a 10 mini skein pack from somebody, they're all 20 gram minis. Usually it's like 90 bucks. So it was $30 for this, which I thought was a great deal. So, all right. Then that was all of the things that came in the mail. Then yesterday, I went to Arkansas Yarn Co. I did my video with Lori for the monthly unboxing of the Sock Yarn Society Club. And being that this is going to come up Sunday, it is all good to show because everyone should have their box and my spoiler video will already be up. So here is the March Sock Yarn Society colorway. Again, this is like a robin's egg color with bright speckles, lots of purples, blues, reds, little bit of yellow. And I put my charm on it because I usually, when I crochet my monthly thing, I like to put my charm of the month on the right side so I remember what it is. And then I did get one other skein of yarn. they had just gotten the Dragon Horde Wednesday Addams collection in from Tristan. And I usually am not super into Tristan's colorways. They're just not my jam. They're beautiful, but they're just not my colors. And I have also said on here that I don't like purple. But I saw this yarn, and I'm like, I love this yarn. I love this yarn so much. And here it is. And yes, it's purple. You can clearly see it is a lot of purple. And as I've said before, when I'm at the yarn store all day, I like, if a yarn catches my eye, I'll put it on the table in front of where I'm sitting and knitting all day, and I'll just kind of look at it. I'm like, do I really love it that much? And I'm like, yeah, I really, really do. And I'm like, why do I like this so much? I literally kept asking Jessa why I like it. But I will say, I have always said that I like lilac purple color. And you'll see in here, this is definitely the lilac lighter purple, which I like. It's just the usually like electric purples, darker purples that I'm not into. So I'm interested in seeing what this looks like knit up. I'm thinking I might make another Tassels in the Sky, which is this held with mohair, because I have, again, I just reorganized, so I pretty much know every yarn I have, and I have some white mohair that would look pretty with this. So yeah. So that is my giant haul. Mostly fiber. When I was in Iowa, I spun every night, which was nice. And I kind of want to get in that habit. Not necessarily even for an hour or 2 hours or whatever, but I feel like when, just like when you do anything consistently, even for a small time, it helps you get better at your skills. So I'm really hoping to start making it a habit to spin daily. Okay, so acquisitions done. So it is the beginning of the month. That's when I usually like to talk about my goals. So both my yarn stash, how I'm doing with yarn stash coming in and coming out, and just what small goals I give myself for the month, things I'd like to finish or definitely work on or pull out or anything like that. So for my February goals, I wanted to complete a couple of things. I wanted to complete my Night Owl socks, which were my vanilla socks, self-striping, and I wanted to complete my DK vanilla socks that I was gifting to someone in Iowa. And I finished both of those, and they turned out great. And then the other thing I wanted to complete was my last spinning project, which was my blue set that I had gotten. It was my first month of my Gritty Knits Bat Club, and then I spun it with another BFL, Sweet Georgia BFL, and I applied those together. So I finished all of those, and they are completed, washed, hanging in my yarn count now. So those are done. So I finished all 3 of my goals there. So how did I do on yarn? So again, I always like to remind somebody, if you're new, how I keep track of my yarn in and out goals. By the end of the year, I just would like more yarn out than in, or at least an even number, that I'm not taking in so much more yarn in than out. Anytime a full skein of 50 grams or 100 grams comes into my possession, I count it as yarn in. Anytime a yarn goes out of the house, whether it's I gift it to a friend, I have a giveaway, or I finish a skein, like I just finished a skein of the Suri in my sweater the other day, so I counted that as a yarn out. But not until I finish that skein or I'm done with the project do I count those as yarns out. As I'm working on it, they're still technically in my stash, because who knows, you may frog the project. So yarn in for February, I had 10 skeins of yarn in, and I had 8 skeins of yarn out. So my total for the year, January and February combined, I had a lot in January. So my yarn in total is 38 skeins of yarn in. My yarn out is 19. But I'm pretty sure March, at least, unless I go crazy this month, that's going to even out because 2 days ago, my husband's been gone for work, and that's when I usually like do an organization project, because if you like to organize like me, when you organize, you take everything out and the house is a mess before it gets better. I literally took every bit of yarn from all the cubbies in my house out. And then I cleaned the shelves really good. I like doing that because, one, clean the shelves, which helps keep, insects out, or helps you spot a problem if there's a moth or whatever quick. So it's not ages before you see that. And then also, I'm looking at every single yarn. I'm constantly asking myself, do I still love this? What do I want to make with it? Do I even have a project in mind for this? Or do I know someone that would be like, oh, they would love this yarn? And I like it, but I'm not going to knit with it. So I cleaned out a ton of yarn. I ended up having 3 containers that I was like, I don't need this anymore. Whether it was like commercial yarn that I still had, that I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I got those for, but I'm not doing that. And I had a bunch of hand-dyed yarn that I picked out that I'm just not in love with. I don't know why I got this yarn, what the purpose was, just stuff like that. So, what I did is I rearranged everything, and I kind of rearranged it so that it's pleasing to the eye, so I can see what there is. And my hanging up skeins I have over here in front of me is all of my own personal hand spun yarn, because I want to use those to knit with them. So I want to be able to see them. So I'm constantly like, oh, can I use that? Do I have enough yarn? So, out of the 3 containers that I had, I took all the hand-dyed yarn out, and I took it to the yarn store this week. My friend Lori took a few skeins, which I said, go ahead. I mean, I'm at peace giving this to someone else who loves this yarn. And then we're going to use those other hand-dyed yarns as prizes for our Nothing But Double make-along. So she's going to keep them at the store. So all that yarn counts as yarn out for March, because it was March 1st. I went over there. So that'll be a really good thing. And then things like that, I had old Hobby Lobby yarn and things like that I know I didn't pay super a lot for, and I just don't think it's like there's a resale value to it. I just gathered up a whole bag and took it to Goodwill. So I had a big bag of yarn that I also donated. And then what was the other one? So the other one I ended up keeping. So I kept a 3rd pile. And I think I talked about that I got a Centro knitting machine cranker. And it works best for like DK light worsted weight. And so I found some other skeins of yarn like Barocco that I had gotten to make a hoagie sweater. And I'm like, oh, I don't think if I do make that sweater, I want to use that yarn. But I'm like, it's money already spent. I'm like, this yarn would probably be the perfect weight to play with in the knitting machine. So I actually kept that basket and tucked it away somewhere else. And I even told my daughter, I'm like, hey, if you're looking like to just kind of play with it, I'm like, use these yarns, because I was going to get rid of them and decided to keep them. So they're perfect for that. So yeah, I sold a couple of skeins. I destashed and sold a couple of skeins also. So I got rid of some yarn this month, and you can see that I brought in 4 skeins so far this month. But yeah, mostly what I got is fiber, which is going to be a problem when I spin it all up and have all these skeins to add to my stash, because that's when I usually add those. So yeah, but I feel like I'm on track. It's just through February right now. I'm doing good, and I have sweater plans. I think it'll go great. So what are my March goals? So my 30-minute a day, like I said, I've been doing that specifically with my WIP Make 9 board, and which is the Cloud 9, but I can't even count it as that because I've been working on that way more than 30 minutes a day. Like usually it's hours a day because I love it so much. But if I finish that this month, then I'll pick up another one. And I have a cubby right behind me that I put all those whip make 9 things in here. So I only grab one at a time. And I'm telling you right now, there's 3 bags in there. There's only 3 left. And it's the beginning of March. So I am super happy how this is going. And the reason there's only 3, because the next thing on my March goals is one of them is getting frogged. So I mentioned this in my last podcast. This is housed in my awesome fringe bag I got from Lobby and Ami online shortly before Fringe went out of business. So this was going to be my next 30-minute-a-day knitting before I grabbed my Cloud 9. Because I thought, oh, you know, get this done before summer so I can wear it. This is the Summer Secret Crop by Jessie Made Designs. It is a bottom-up tank top. Here's what I got. I like the color. Yes, it's black and browns and you know, like bits of fun colors in there. I hate this bottom-up. I absolutely detest it. I'm actually surprised I got this far. Like the whole time I knit on this, I'm like, I hate this knit so much. Why am I keep knitting this? And I'm like, okay, because I would like to have a knit tank top. I don't want it that bad, I've realized. Before I went to Iowa, I was trying to pick out what my next project is from the 30 minutes a day. And I'm like, oh, this will be good. It'll be mindless because it's so boring. It's just stockinette around right now. And I picked it up, worked a couple rows, and I'm like, there's no way. I just don't even want to touch this thing. So yeah, this is getting frogged. And I'm totally okay with that. I will either find something for the yarn to be, or I may give it to Jessa because she's kind of into the dark colors. There is like pops of fun, bright colors in there. But I feel like she would like this yarn. I'm not even sure I have the tag for it anymore. But yeah, I just... comment below if you've made a tank top that isn't like bottom up. Is there one out there? Or are they all bottom up because of the strap situation? I would like to have a tank top. I hate this. No disrespect to the pattern. To Jessie Made. She has great designs. I just detest knitting this. And you know, there's certain things that even if you hate knitting, you will work on because you want the product. And I'm like, no, I don't want it that bad. I'm okay with just saying no to it. So this one is getting frogged. That's in my goals. I just need to do it. And then the other thing in my goal is I don't know if I've ever showed this or not. So occasionally, if there's a yarn in my stash, especially after I do a clean out, and I'm like, oh, I love this yarn so much. I just want to get a sock made, but then, you know, time passes and I'm like, oh, it's still up there. I still don't have socks made. And so every once in a while, I will pick a couple and I will send them off and I will get tubes made. I don't know, back here I have a few tubes made of stuff like I definitely wanted for socks. So once the mood, you know, moves me, I just have to add heel toes cuffs to them. So I have one, and I don't even know when I started this one. I feel like it was last year I finally picked up this yarn, and so here's the tube. And so I just picked up the stitches. I did 2 cuffs. I folded it, so I even have the stitch markers in here where I need to cut and then do toes and then do 2 afterthought heels. Won't take long. I just haven't been motivated to do them. So because I didn't feel like this deserved even a project bag, because when I cut, I kind of want to be at my desk and stuff. So it's just kind of been floating around my shelves. So when I cleaned out the other day, I'm like, okay, I just need to finish this sock. I have some pink here. And I realized when I was cleaning out and stuff, I have a lot of mini skeins. So I literally have this cute little basket thing over here to my right with just all these mini skeins that are unopened there. And then up here I have ones that I've already have in balls. Like I've used them for a project or something and they're scraps that I can use for socks. So these need to get finished. I mean, once I do them, they won't take any time. So, and that'd be one more finished object. So, and one more skein of yarn out of my stash. So, yes, I would like to finish that. So, finish baby dress, finish these, frog my tank top, and maybe, I don't have it written down this way, but maybe finish my Cloud 9. I mean, March has 31 days in it, and I am rocking on that t-shirt. I think that I can really put that as a goal because that is totally doable. Yeah. And I'm working on a special design for something that I really need to put some time and effort in. I tried to make a design for a shawl and I liked it, but I need to tweak some things. So I need to frog it and start over with the new configuration for my head. And I need to work on that and put some time in there. So that's my other goal for the month. So yeah, I think that is it for this episode. Just looking over my notes, making sure I didn't forget anything. So yeah, that is it for this episode. I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm hoping, so I'm still at my desk here, but I feel like because I've tilted it just a little bit, it kind of has a yarny, fibery background, but yet the lighting is still decent. I hope that this might work for the future. I still have everything very close to me. Yeah, so thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, for sharing, for commenting, to be part of this community. I appreciate every single one of you, and I enjoy reading your comments and visiting with you both here or on Ravelry. And so I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.